So what's up, guys? I've got a 4th gen NU match against my friend Kevin. Now, if you looked at the teams real quick, his team is pretty frail compared to mine. I mean, I didn't know that at the time, but just looking at the team preview right now, my team kind of has the advantage. So he's going to lead off with Butterfree, and I'm going to lead off with Purugly. Now, I'm just going to go straight off for the U-turn. I know it's not very effective, but I wanted to break his sass just in case he did, put something to sleep, because I didn't really want my Purugly sleeping this early. So now I go into my Wailord. I could have went into Tauros to get the 4 times Earthquake, but I know he still does have that Butterfree, and he can easily switch into that, and it's pretty early, so I don't want to show him my Tauros just yet. So I go into my Choice Scarf Wailord, and I just go for the Water Spout, thinking it was going to do quite a bit on anything he really switched into, but he goes into a Gastrodon, and that doesn't do a whole lot, really, for being regular effective, so I'm going to have to switch, go into Vileplume, knowing I can probably completely wall this thing because it does have Toxic and Vileplume can't be Toxic. And I'm thinking he can't really touch me unless he has the Earth power, so I stayed in predicting the switch and went for Sludge Bomb. But that really doesn't work out for me because he actually has the Ice Beam. Now, I don't know what he was thinking, what he was, the thought process behind that, because I do have Energy Ball and that would have 1-hit KO'd him, so I don't know what he was thinking there. But, that Ice Beam really does nothing to my Vileplume, so I'm kind of safe to stay in here. I kind of predicted the switch into Butterfree, so I went for a Leech Seed this turn to break his Focus Sash, just in case he had one, because he might be a Scarf set or leftovers, I'm not sure. But I do get pretty nice HP back from the Leech Seed and leftovers recovery. So I know he can't really touch me. The best he can do is actually just go for Sleep Powder. And if he did go for Stun Spore, I do have Aromatherapy, so it's all good. So he just goes for Sleep Powder here. And I'm getting some Leech Seed recovery, so he's not going to be able to stay in much longer because his only attacking move is probably Bug Buzz. He might have U-turn, but I don't think so because my set has U-turn, but whatever. He switches out, goes into his Gastrodon here. And I actually didn't think I was going to wake up that turn, so I just went for Sludge Bomb, thinking he was going to stay in and try to hit me with not Energy Ball, whatever move he wanted to go for. But now he's going to switch again and go into his Butterfree, as I do go for Energy Ball this turn. I guess maybe he thought I'd overpredict again, but I just went for Energy Ball and he goes into his Butterfree again. So he just goes for the Sleep Powder, and I don't have anything else I really want to take the Sleep Powder besides this Vileplume, because so far I haven't seen anything on his team that can really touch this Vileplume for much damage. As you can see there, didn't do much. I wake up, go for the Leech Seed, which is awesome for me because I got 2 first turn wakes in a row too, which is funny. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm using a different background thing, as you can see, so tell me in the comments if you like that better than my other little purplish one, but whatever. So he goes for the Sleep Powder again, and not that too big of a deal because from the Pokemon I've seen on his team so far, he doesn't have a whole lot to take this Vileplume, really. And if I do wake up, I do have pretty good coverage on most of his team, with Sludge Bomb and Energy Ball. So he's going to switch out here, go into his Bastiodon, knowing that he can, resist the Sludge Bomb, that's it, yeah. Because he's a Steel type and everything like that. But I just go for, Leech Seed, obviously, kind of predicting nothing, really. I just wanted to go for Leech Seed. And he's into Bastiodon, so I know Energy Ball is regular effective on him, so I'm just going to go for that. And I know Bastiodons have godly, special defense, so it doesn't do a whole lot of damage to him. But he just, oh my god, I can't talk. He opts to go for the Stealth Rocks this turn, just in case I had, a Charizard again, or anything on my team that was really weak to Stealth Rocks. But he's staying in here, not sure why he should be switching out, but I'm not complaining, I'm getting free damage on this Bastiodon. And he goes for Taunt. He said he was predicting the Sleep Powder, but my Vileplume doesn't have the Sleep Powder. My moveset is Aromatherapy, Leech Seed, Energy Ball, and Sludge Bomb. Because I don't really like Sleep Powder on Vileplume because it does miss a lot, because it's only 75% accuracy. But I predict the switch into Butterfree this turn and go for Sludge Bomb, which is a really good move on my part because that Butterfree is finally out of my way. And I think that was a good prediction because if he stayed in, then Sludge Bomb wouldn't have affected him because he's a steel type and everything like that. So that was awesome. So I go I go into my Dusclops here, which is especially defensive. So this Gardevoir is not going to be able to do much to my Dusclops. Because do you see that? I'm not sure what item this Gardevoir actually is. It might be Specs as well as... Not as well, but like it might be Specs. But I'm not sure. So he goes into his Seeking, predicting the Will-O-Wisp. Because most Dusclops have the Will-O-Wisp, but mine doesn't because mine's awesome like that. And I just go for Toxic. So his Seeking is not going to be doing too much to my team at the moment since it is Toxic. And I do have a couple walls on this team that do have Protect. So I'm just going to keep going for Protect here. As he's getting the Toxic damage. So I know I can live this Waterfall. Because even if he is banded, Dusclops still does have pretty beastly defense, even without any EVs in it. So I knew I could live it. But I get the Flinch. Which kind of sucked. I mean, it is a 30% chance of him getting that. But all that really would have happened is his Seeking would have went down a little bit sooner. I mean, this turn he would have went down. And I wouldn't have lost my Dusclops, so that kind of sucks, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. And I actually switch out my Dusclops here, not wanting him to die, and I go into a Vileplume to take the Waterfall. Even if it's banded or not, I do resist it. And Seeking doesn't have the greatest attack stat in the world either. So I'm going to be able to live that. I can live 2 or 3 more of those. With the leftover, or Black Sludge, whatever I have on here. So I think he switches out here, wanting to save it for later as maybe like a Death Fodder or something. And he goes back into his Bastiodon, basically as a Death Fodder as well, to save another Death Fodder to get rid of one, but whatever. I'm not questioning his logic because he is still a great player. Now, right around this point, I'm starting to gain my momentum, because once most of this match has been just Vileplume, but I'm starting to gain my momentum now, starting to know what his team is and match it up accordingly. And he still hasn't seen most of my team. He's only seen 3 members of my team so far, so now he goes into his Murkrow, and I'm obviously thinking Brave Bird or something, so I go into Torkoal, my physically defensive wall. Unfortunately, rocks are up, so I'm not going to be able to live too many rock hits. So he just goes for the Brave Bird, and that does a pretty reasonable chunk for having 416 defense with pretty good HP too. But he's Life Orbed, I do believe. So he just goes for the Psychic, and he does reveal that he is a mixed attacker, which is kind of a pain. But I just go for Lava Plume, kind of hoping for the burn just in case, or even take him down. But he actually ends up living with 13 or 20 HP or something along the lines of that. And he's just going to switch out here. I don't know why, maybe predicting a switch of his own. But I go for Explosion, and that kind of just ruins my 6-0. Which really wasn't the biggest deal. I don't really like getting 6-0s on people. So Torkoal faints, and then I do believe I bring in Purugly here. Yeah, I bring in Purugly because my Purugly is banded, and he still doesn't know that. So I was thinking of going for the U-turn and U-turning into Vileplume here, but I just opted to go for the return, thinking it was either going to kill it or he'll live with a little bit of HP like he does. And I was 95% sure I could live whatever move he wanted to go for, and that just so happens to be Surf. So I do end up living that, and another return is going to take his Gastrodon down, which is awesome because that's probably one of his biggest threats on his team. So all of his defensive pokes, his lead, his physical sweeper is down, and all he has left is... Oh no, he still has his physical sweeper. He just has a special sweeper here, his Gardevoir. But Purugly outspeeds him, and since I'm banded, that return is going to take his Gardevoir down, which he thought he might live that, because he didn't know I was banded at this time. He just thought I was a standard lead one. But no, he just goes into his... with Murkrow and just goes for Sucker Punch just to take me down. And he dies to Life Orb, so hope you enjoyed this 4th Gen NU match. Give the video a like rating if you liked it, give it a dislike if you disliked it. Leave a comment on what you thought of the battle or something like that, and yeah.